Today's assignment in CAD is all about aligning and spacing objects. As you can see on this sample, I have a variety of objects on the page. You're not going to do this. I want you to watch this and then you're going to do a different part of the exercise. First of all, I am going to go to my Window tab. The Window tab will open up all these tools. I want to show all my tool windows. Notice how it spreads them out all around the screen. I can bring them up close together if that's helpful for you, but it does bring them out all over the page. We're mostly going to be concerned with this tool today. This is the alignment window. So you can see I have a bunch of different shapes on here. I've got a circle, a couple different rectangles, and some polygons. I'm going to select all of these objects. Now there's a few different ways you can do that. You can use the arrow tool, the select tool, click on one of them, hold the shift key down, and keep clicking on the next tools. That's one way to do it. If there's one you don't want, if I don't want this one, I can hold that shift key down and click on it one more time and it disappears. Or it's unselected, I should say. Or I can unselect the objects and just draw a box all around them with the selection tool. I can also use this selection tool as well. So now that I have all of the different boxes, looking at the alignment tool window, you can see as you hover your mouse over it, it tells you what this one does. Use this tool to align the selected objects to the bottom side of the object. So if I click on this one, it's going to align all the bottoms of these together. It's asking me to click a reference object. So I have to tell it which bottom I want it to line up with. Do I want it to line up with the bottom of this one or the bottom of this one? I'm going to click on this very first circle, and they all lined up with the bottom of that. The opposite of that is lining up the tops, and now they all line up the tops. Or I can line up all the centers. And now the centers are lined up. That is the basic alignment tool. Notice this whole top row does things horizontal, left and right. The bottom row aligns objects up and down, up and down. You can see the little boxes are up and down on top of each other. So if I click on this one and click on an object, wait, that's not what I wanted. It brought all the left sides together. I can undo up at the top. And to give you an example of how this one works, if I had all the boxes kind of up and down from each other, like this, now I could select all those boxes and align the left side, or align the right side, or align the centers, just as before. So that is all the alignments, these 6 boxes right here. Why would we ever want to use a tool like this? Well, let's pretend you're setting up rows, like rows of seats in a classroom. For example, I have all of these squares here. These might represent seats in a classroom. If I click all of those rows or all of those chairs and say line up the bottoms, that lined up the bottom of all of them, but it didn't spread them out very evenly. These tools, the 4 on the right hand side, will spread the spaces out. So if I click on this one right here, or this one, it doesn't matter which one you use, it'll spread them out horizontally. If I use the bottom 2, it'll spread them out vertically. So I'm going to click on this one, and it just spread them all out because they were selected. Let me undo what I just did. If they weren't selected like this, and I clicked on this tool, it doesn't allow me to because there's nothing selected. If I click on just one, it still doesn't allow me because there's nothing to spread one out with. If I wanted these to be closer together or farther apart, this left a little space in between. What I can do is I can move the very first one and the very last one to where I want them. Do I want them to spread them out this far apart or this far apart? And then all the ones in the middle don't matter as long as they're somewhere in the middle. So I've put them somewhere in the middle like that. Now when I select them all, it's going to spread them out from this one all the way to this one. Just like that. The last thing you want to know on this is how to group these together. Grouping is like gluing it together. So if I go to the Arrange tab, I'm on the Window tab right now, I'm going to go to the Arrange tab, and I'm going to group them together. When I click on this, notice that they're all selected individually. These are called handles around the edges. So when I group them together, it becomes one solid object. I can't move them individually. If I ungroup them again, now they're individual objects and I can spread them out. But if I group them all together, now they're stuck. You have to group them together after you spread them out evenly. So I can't go back now and try to spread these out because they're already grouped together. Like I said, it's just like gluing them together. They're already glued together. So I could ungroup them all, grab all of them, and spread them out. Now regroup them. This is going to come in handy when you want to spread out multiple rows. So if I like this row, I can go to Edit, and I can duplicate that row. I can copy and paste that row. If I use the right mouse button, I can copy and then paste, and now I have another row and another row. Now that I have all these rows done, I can spread the rows out. This is the same tool set we would use up here, spreading them out up and down. If I just line up their left edges, now their left edges are lined up, but the spacing isn't even. If I use the tool to distribute the space, now the spacing is even. Once again, the entire activity 2 will be using this tool to space out your classroom. For today's assignment, you're going to be setting up a classroom the way you think it should be set up. There are a few requirements, so make sure you read the directions in the book, but you can spread out the desks in a fashion that you think is best. Remember, this is all about aligning things in straight lines and making sure that the spacing is even. You'll see that all of the parts that you need, the components for the classroom, are already on the screen. The labels here are easy to remove, so you can just click and delete the labels, but don't delete the parts that you need or you'll have to start over. First of all, I have a whiteboard, and I think this whiteboard should go in the front of the class. I'm going to make this the front of the class. And I want the teacher desk in the back of the class over here. I'm going to put the teacher desk or the teacher chair behind the teacher desk. And most teachers I know have a filing cabinet where they keep their files in it. If you want more than one file cabinet, you can just copy paste, right click and copy, right click and paste. Now I've got 2 filing cabinets, and you can switch them up any way you'd like. I have a miscellaneous table where the teacher keeps all of their handouts, and I'm going to copy that one and paste another one on the other side of the room. Once again, this is your classroom. You can design it the way you'd like. The last thing is the student chair. This is the one that has the chair and the desk all in one. I don't need these anymore, so I'm just going to grab all of them and delete. Now's a good time to save your work. Remember to always save it in your H drive. So go up here to the File and save. You should do that every few minutes. All of our menus are not open right now, the windows that show the tools we're going to be using. So if I go to Window and Show All of my windows pop up. The one I'm concerned with today is the alignment window. This is the alignment window. Now I'm going to make a full row of these chairs. There's a requirement for how many chairs you need to have in the class, so make sure you read the directions in the book. But if you were to need 27 desks, you might do 9 chairs, 9 desks in a row, and 3 rows of desks. I'm just going to start with 25 for now. So I would need 5 chairs, 5 of these desks in a row. So I'm going to copy and paste. You can also use other commands like the duplicate under Edit. See, that makes another one. Oh, wait a second. I just grabbed that by the edge and I stretched it out a little bit. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to delete it, or actually I can just come up here and undo it and go back to where I was. Now I can grab it the right way. This might help if you zoom in just a little bit on your screen. So I'm going to duplicate one more time. Now I have 5 desks. Most students start to place the desks the way they want them, trying to space them out evenly by hand. You don't want to space it out by hand though, because no matter how much you try, you'll never get it perfect. Just remember, you put the first one and the last one where you want it, and then make sure the other 3 are somewhere in the middle. It doesn't matter. Now we're going to grab all the chairs that are in that row and spread them out left and right. Remember, these tools spread out left and right. These tools spread out up and down. So I'm going to do left and right, and now I've got a perfect row of 5. To keep that row perfect, you have to arrange and group. Arrange menu and group. Now it's one solid row. Now comes the easy part. You don't have to do all that work again. You can just click and copy that row and paste the row. Now I've got a second row. Copy, paste, I've got a third row. Or we can use the Edit, Duplicate, and you've got a 4th row. We need one more row of 5 to make 25 chairs. Duplicate, and there's one more row. As you can see, these rows are not lined up perfectly. Once again, we just need to select all the rows. Make sure we only have the rows, don't include other furniture. And now we're going to spread them out up and down with this tool. And it's perfectly evenly spaced. A word of caution. If you copy and paste the rows before you group them together, so I'm going to ungroup that row, and now it is 5 individual chairs. I'll throw these ones away for this example. If I grab this row and I copy and I paste, like I did before, paste, paste, and one more, paste. Now I have all 25 of my chairs like I did before. However, if I grab them all, they are 25 individual chairs. They are not 5 rows that have been grouped together. If I try to group it together now, I can't spread it out. However, if I try to spread them out the way they are, it spreads all 25 chairs up and down because you forgot to group them before you copied the rows. I'll undo. So you should have taken this row, spread it out evenly, then grouped it together before you copy and paste. Make sure you do it in the correct order. Make sure you're not trying to spread them out by hand. So if I just try to spread them out by hand, I'll never get them perfectly even. And when you print it out, it will show up. So let me grab all of these chairs. And I'm going to now spread them out up and down, not left and right. So remember, there's always the undo button, but up and down. And now those rows are perfect. I'm going to zoom all the way out, and I need to put my name there. Do you see where it says your name here? You can click on that and just go through and erase the words that are there and put your name. You can put the date and the period here as well. One last thing I want to point out. Do you notice that this is on 2 pages? There's one page here and one page over here. We don't want them to be on 2 pages. We want it to be on one single page. Under the layout, we can see our drawing size. Clicking on drawing size will show all the pages. So I can make this saying a bunch of pages, or I can click on just one little black dot, and now it's on one single page. Don't forget to file, save every few minutes, and once your drawing is complete with the required number of chairs and the row spacing done correctly, then you can print to the 40206 printer. Make sure it says from page 1 to page 1. If it says multiple pages, you need to go back and fix it. Good luck today.